Hello, I guess. Fightful, faithful, but why would you be?
Well,
This,
no, well, hold on. We're great.
like, no, I mean, but like, no, why would you be faithful to anything that is about professional wrestling? Like anything, like like even friggin' AEW's putting out a friggin' flag with MJF's face on it for the stars. Like every like if I know I say it a lot, but tonight it's true. Everything sucks.
Well, not everything. It is my 3-year anniversary here at Fightful, which is
I know that's the point. It's supposed to be a night of celebration.
I
And
know, but
HBK
usually
ruins everything yet again.
the worse the episode, sometimes the more fun we have. So,
But no,
guys, we can't do it alone,
time,
though. Let me be abundantly clear, okay? This is your NXT post show for August 13th. We have a lot of fun on the show. We can't do it with this episode without you guys, so we're gonna need you to send in your super chats, send in your humper chats at humperchats.com, leave a thumbs up on this video, helps people find us in the algorithm so much. We'll also ask you to subscribe to fightfulselect.com before Alex turns into the guy from Star Trek who has the for eyes. But fightfulselect.com, so much more contract news coming up. Gossip about the Lucha Brothers went up earlier today. We'd love a little gossip, a little tea. More contract news on the way. More about the Warner deal. A little victory lap on the old stadium show that people said wasn't going to happen. That'll probably be happening next year. Fightfulselect.com. So much more to come. This episode was bad.
It wasn't even bad in a like this will be fun to make fun of it way. It was just
wasn't wackadoo bad. It was just like, what are we
just,
doing?
Just so depressing. Just so depressing. You know, like it's just the antithesis of what I want in wrestling television. You know what I mean?
Really messed up because like every card should be booked how we want, and this.
I mean, exactly like that. That's all I can do is from the basis of my be objective. I'm sorry, I am a person who has thoughts in my own head, and the thing that I want isn't happening.
They talk to you. They understand, which is important. But like, also, objectively, there are things in wrestling that make sense. What's so perplexing to me about this is that Shawn Michaels was in storylines and angles that made sense. You wouldn't know it from tonight's show that he was ever in stuff that made sense as a wrestler, because he took zero of that knowledge with him into the booking scene, it feels like today. This was not good. There's very, very few things on the show. If you ask Alex, there's zero. For me, there's very few. That, like, this is coming off of Great American Bash, man. Like, what are we doing? This was rough. On my anniversary of all days.
On your anniversary.
He didn't send me a watch. He didn't book me good matches.
It was supposed to be, like, good. It was supposed to be fun. It was supposed to be things to make fun of and things we could do voices about. And instead, we got Tony D losing because of rampant interference in a pure rules match, basically, where during, I guess I can make fun of this, because during the match, I think Booker T said the word heritage 803 times, because that's all he knows about the Heritage Cup, is that it's about heritage. So
are you like, Benjamin Buttoning? Because you just turned 8.
This is, I mean, I don't wanna.
I know, Pumpkin Patch, but we have to.
I don't want to talk about this show, okay? I don't want to talk about not just this episode, but this show. I don't want to talk about this show anymore. It gives me nothing that I like.
Well,
it gives
Alex,
me nothing that I want. It is an abusive relationship. I am every Tuesday. This show abuses me, and I just have to sit and take it because Sean Ross Sapp pays me money. I am not this show's whore. I do not have to take this abuse for the money.
Hold on.
I don't have to do it.
Yes, you are. But also, the good news is we do the show for 2 hours and we talk about wrestling for like 40 minutes of those 2 hours.
I mean, that is true.
So we're good with that. But I feel like for puns, it's got to be anniversary puns, right? Or celebration puns?
I don't. Like on this night, I don't know. Like natural
it's
disaster
my anniversary.
Puns. I mean, okay, fine.
Listen,
anniversary,
Pulowski,
anniversary.
Suck
puns.
it up. We're doing the show. Anniversary puns in the chat.
I am a broken vacuum tonight. I will not suck it up.
Fixed it. Vacuum. Prop for everything. Suck it up, Pulowski. We got a show to talk about.
Okay, fine. They started off the night with Wes Lee walking backstage. He's got heel braids. He's got braids that make him a heel now. And they're like, why did you do it? He's like, well, blah, blah, blah. I guess I'll talk about it later. And then Ethan Page is great. Ethan Page is great. I just don't love the stuff that they're doing with this.
Well, this is one of the better things, I feel like. We've been asking what they're going to do with Joe Hendry since he's come in here.
Yes.
We've been asking why he's been like, we're going to go after Gallus, which he's apparently not doing.
Yeah.
He only had interest in one member of Gallus.
I know.
And so him going after Ethan Page is a good thing. This was like the good thing on the show, so we get to talk about that.
This was the good thing on the show. By the end of the night, it was no longer good to me. But this is the good thing on the show. So, him coming out and cutting the promo about how nobody can beat me, blah blah blah. I love his David Koresh glasses. It's a really good look for him. Open
he brings the
throat
fashion
with the shirt.
Page,
He's very good. I think he's also got his own little mic. What's the thing?
As did Joe Hendry.
It's a specific. There's a name for it. The thing that goes around the mic to let you know what station you're on. It's a flag. Is it a mic flag?
Yes.
A mic flag.
It's a flag.
He's got his own.
Yes.
He's got his own mic flag.
You know who else had that though? The Miz.
No, he didn't.
He turned theirs upside down.
He turned it upside down. He's got his own. Like he had to go and get that specially made.
That is true.
So I enjoyed him, talking like also like Wes Lee cut all the dead weight, and so he's like, okay, now that he's a heel, I agree with him, but he can't take my thing. Pete Dunne, you have no chance. Trick Williams, like, when are you gonna? Even if you get past Pete Dunne, you got no chance of coming at me. There's nobody, and then it's Joe Hendry. And this is fine. This is what this is the thing they need to do with Joe Hendry if he's going to be on the show. This is the thing they need to do with him.
For sure.
And him and Ethan Page will be very good, and it's fine. It's just not what I want not my ideal, and therefore it sucks. Like, it's just not my ideal thing, and therefore it sucks. And I wish that I was not, again, an 8-year-old about this, but it's not my ideal thing, and therefore it sucks. So it's fine. It's fine. I can't hate on it. The promo battle between him and Hendry and Page was fine. And then Ethan Page leaves. And then in comes Wes Lee to kick Joe Hendry in the face.
Yes. I don't know. Are we to presume this is going to be a triple threat?
What?
Hendry, Wes Lee, and Page?
No, it's Hendry, Wes Lee, and Pete Dunne next week for the right to face Ethan Page at No Mercy. That's what they announced. So it's a triple threat number one. It's a triple threat number one contenders match, which I expect Joe Hendry to win, because I don't think you do another fatal four-way with the NXT title so soon. So Joe Hendry wins. Here's the deal. Wes Lee later in the night, and I'm going to hop all around tonight because I just want to be done talking about the show for the rest of my life. Wes Lee later challenges Zach Wentz to a match.
Yes.
And so Zach Wentz will answer the challenge by costing Wes Lee next week. You know who's going to cost Pete Dunne? Trick Williams. So Joe Hendry's winning that triple threat next week. And, there you go. That's how that works. It's pretty... if I were to say, how are they going to book it? Wes Lee's about to win the match. Zach Wentz shows up. They brawl to the back, right? Pete Dunne's about to beat Joe Hendry. In comes Trick Williams running trick knee, and then Joe Hendry does a choke slam and pins him. That's how I think they're going to book it. Would I be surprised at all if that's exactly how they booked it? No. Do I think it's a 100% chance? 93. It's a 93% chance they book it exactly how I said it, because they only book things certain ways. So we're getting Joe Hendry versus Ethan Page at the big pay-per-view, the play that leads us right into the CW era. That's great. Ethan Page, I think, beats Joe Hendry. And I don't know how long this TNA thing is sticking around, but it'd be interesting if we could figure out a way to go into the CW era with Ethan Page as champion and 3 or 4 really top contenders. And I feel like they're doing this early. So again, not perfect, and therefore it sucks. So
thank you for letting me know that was the contendership, because real talk, definitely decided we were going for a walk before, right as this was starting. So we did that. So I had the volume down, but I will say it is nice to have some fresh names in that top contendership picture. It's nice that Wes Lee is, he was such a North American title for so long that it's nice that we've moved up and on with him. What are we doing with Trick Williams, though? It really feels like he's very vulnerable right now, and I don't know how you get him back on track. There's certainly a million heels on this program to do that against, and not that many faces.
Well, I mean, here's how I wouldn't get Trick Williams back on track. Just have him do a weird, nonsensical vignette like, Trick Williams solves problems. Trick Williams figures everything out. Just not a problem that Trick Williams can't solve. When did that become your gimmick? Since when are you a problem solver? It took you 6 goddamn months to figure out Carmelo Hayes attacked you. What are you talking about? You're a problem solver. Great detective. World's greatest detective. Trick Williams. What are you talking about, man?
Do you think maybe he was doing a couple of puzzles backstage? Maybe. And they were like, he knows how to solve these problems.
Maybe that's possible.
The thing is, it feels like the next place Trick should go is into a feud with Oba Femi, and I think that's a bad idea, and here's why. I don't think Trick should be losing what's next for him.
No, he's going to beat Pete Dunne, and Trick Williams have another match at No Mercy. Trick Williams wins this one. Maybe that means that now Pete Dunne can go up and do his thing with Sheamus, since Sheamus got written off of TV with a broken hand via shillelagh in the hand of Pete Dunne last night. Maybe Pete Dunne losing to Trick Williams because Sheamus? I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. But he has to go up and actually do the Sheamus thing at that point, and we can just move Trick back into the top title picture, and we can do the rivalry that I pitched months ago of the CW starting with the real rivalry. Trick, Ethan Page on the same level. Now, you've done a piss-ass job of doing that kind of booking them on the same level from the get-go, with Trick kicking out of his finisher, beating him clean, and then knocking out Ethan Page so that Ethan Page could take his title. But maybe on the CW, you actually start them off on an even footing, and we move on from there. Maybe I think
That would be the best thing to do. You have a super over babyface, former champion, against a heel who does really great character, in-ring, and promo work. This is a great way to start off two young guys to bring the CW era along with a top rivalry. Do that if you are smart, but we have seen a la tonight that they are not. So we will just happen to see what happens.
Here's my problem with that. I don't know how you close, and it's not my job, so it's theirs. How are we closing the creative gap of the fact that, like, how is beating Pete Dunne getting you back on a title track? You know what I mean? He should have wanted the title back immediately after he lost it, and he had no interest in doing that. And he was in a 4-way where he didn't have a feud with any of the guys in that 4-way. So what... Trig Williams just does not feel like a top-of-the-card guy to me right now. It is probably because of his weak-ass reign. It was probably because he had one defense against Ethan Page and a house show defense.
Right.
But, like, CW, new era of the new era, fine. Like, you want to say that's a fresh slate, whatever. But there's, like, a serious issue of them not being able to book top baby faces at all, much less in title pictures. And kind of like how it took them forever with LA Knight to capitalize on the fact that he was so over. It's like they rest on their laurels instead of putting a magnifying glass on that, which is not good. But anyway, I'm glad that Ethan Page is not getting rolled up outside of matches anymore, because that was stupid.
That was really dumb. That was
Joe
a
Hendry and
horrible
him
way
should be very, very fun. We'll get a song out of it. It'll be good.
Yes. Yeah. Later in the night, I'll just skip to this now. Wes Lee comes out to cut his promo about how he always had to basically babysit Zach Wentz. I was the one who got your ass up so you could make it to the airport on time for your flights to places. I made sure everything was plotted out for you. I was the one driving to and from every place. And so, like, he mentions Trey as well, but it's mostly a Zach Wentz thing. And you and your dumbass decisions got me abandoned here when everybody thought, oh, who's he going to find another tag team partner? Because I was just a tag guy. That's all I could ever be, because I was seen as attached to you, and there was nothing. So I had to work my way up to even be seen as anything. And I've allowed myself to fall into the comfortability of being with my brothers again and being just a tag guy. But Zach Wentz let me down yet again. I was like, this would be great if Zach took the pin. But, like, you took the pin. So, like, I always hate when the guy's like the tag team guy, you let me down. Like, because he didn't break up the pinfall where you were being pinned? I mean, I guess, but I always prefer it if the guy's going to say, you let me down, that he has a leg to stand on. And Wes Lee, in this particular case, doesn't. But anyway, so he says that you guys can go ahead and you can be wrestlers in TNA. And I thought he was going to do, I'm going to be a superstar.
Me too. I
thought he didn't say it. He didn't say it, but he was this damn close.
He was really
he says, I'm going to be NXT champion. And he is interrupted by Pete Dunne. And they decide they're going to brawl because who's going to be champion here. Pete Dunne is interviewed earlier, like, I'll beat Trick fair and square. I beat him bad. He can't possibly face me. Don't worry about it. So they're going to brawl, but in comes Joe Hendry, and then they all brawl. And then that is when, after that, it is announced that next week there will be a triple threat match for the number one contendership to Ethan Page at No Mercy. And I feel like it is the most foregone of all foregone conclusions that Joe Hendry wins that match. So cool.
He should, though. And I like that we are getting upward mobility from Wes Lee. That's good. That's I think a very, very good thing. You also aren't going to do that because you're not going to have heel on heel, and kind of, not that Ethan Page and him are similar heels, but it's not like one's a goofy heel or whatever. Right. So that's part of it. But I really liked the reasoning from Wes, because they needed one. They needed something.
Well, they needed something, yeah.
And I thought that was good, because I've had that friend. I've probably been that friend to somebody. And my only thing was, like, he was really successful without Zach Wentz.
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah,
he had an incredible title reign, so this, like, you held me back thing wasn't so true. But, like, it was really, really well done. And he's a great promo. I'm glad they're letting him explore this side of things, because I do feel like that hasn't been a report or anything, let me be abundantly clear, but it does feel like they're trying to test both sides of the water before they call people up to the main roster. And he was a face, and a really good one for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. They usually only have a playbook, one single one for small athletic guy who's a heel now, because then they won't let him do any of their fun stuff that pops the crowd. So, like, he's gonna pick up some kind of very painful submission maneuver and start winning moves with that. You know what I mean? Like, matches with that. Like, he's not allowed to do, like, you can't do flippy doos if you're a bad guy. Only good guys do flippy doos. So, you know what I mean? So, yeah,
it's true. We'll see. I feel like he would be so fun in a tag team. I know you had booked a while back, like a run with Ricochet would have been really cool.
2022 was when I first booked that. So yes, a while back. But yeah,
well, did Jack with Ricochet, but like him being in a tag team with a different group, I think could be very, very fun. Very fun.
Yeah, he does at some point challenge Zach Wentz to a match. I feel like they'll probably have that at No Mercy. They'll have the Trick versus Pete at No Mercy. I
have to ask TNA fans if there are any in the chat. Feel free to chime in on this. But, like, Jordan Grace did her program and went back to TNA. Joe Hendry feels like he's sticking around. Like, does it feel for TNA fans, I'm wondering, and this isn't good or bad, but does it feel like he's just gone already a little bit? Or is he feeling important enough in TNA it doesn't feel like they've lost more than they've gained? I don't know, and it might be a foregone conclusion he's leaving anyway, so they might be saying, let's get some exposure off of it, which God bless him if that's the case. But I just don't know, because I don't follow the TNA product very closely. So
I mean, I don't either, but I don't see him staying long term, unless he is, like, his contract is up in the fall and they're just going to, like, bleed him right into NXT. Didn't they start something between him and Josh Alexander? Like, I feel like if he has the match versus Ethan Page, like, Josh Alexander showing up to screw with Joe Hendry, so Ethan Page, Josh Alexander's old tag team partner, beats Joe Hendry, so then he will go back to TNA, and then they'll do the Josh Alexander program. Maybe that's the last long program he works in TNA, and then he comes back to NXT. Sure. Maybe that's it. But they made us a point to have Josh Alexander take out Joe Hendry in that big match.
Yes, that is true.
Like, that was the thing that they tried. They made sure of doing that. It was not just like, hey, I'm going to turn heel. It was like, I'm going to attack this guy. So I feel like they should do much. Hey, I'm going to turn heel. You, I guess. You know what I mean? It wasn't that. It wasn't like, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by his toe.
More heels should do that. Just, hey, I'm turning heel now.
Yeah.
Would be great. Just announce it.
Before we get into the first thing that made me frothing mad, let's do some nice things people have said. Jess Ricardo says, happy Kate-iversary. All hail the Sour Queen.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Meet Norma says, happy third sour-versary, Kate.
Thank you so much.
And he says, hi, Alex and chat. Hello, Meet Normus.
Hello, Meet Normus. We'll let you know when the actual sour-versary is, too, because
today's the Smackiversary?
The Smackiversary. So I was talking about this the other day. It's like very wild that I got hired to do the SmackDown post show with Sean, who ran away. And now I'm on most nights of the week. I'm mostly with you, which is such a joy. And hey, September 4th, I'm going to be doing the AEW Dynamite show with you. So Dynamite sit-ins are so fun because I either get 20 minutes notice or I get like 4 weeks notice. Like it's either something last minute that Sean had to bail, or he's like, I'm going to be out traveling for this.
True.
So, but it is, I'll just say this now, like this was something I never planned on doing.
Right.
As ever from a paid perspective. I started my usual AEW Dynamite spot, the Mark Order, during the pandemic, because everybody was bored during the pandemic, and AEW was new and exciting and fun, and I, getting into wrestling a little later, had never been a fan of a promotion from its infancy, from its start, and then it's evolved into this just incredible part of my life, and I'm so thankful for it, and I love getting to be here with you guys, and way more importantly, the people that I do this with, and the people I work with and for, and the people that tune into the show are like such an important part of my life. And it means so much to me that Sean has good taste in hiring, because it's wrestling. It's not worth it to do this with people who suck. Never mind ones who are just good. There's a lot of really great human beings here that work extremely hard. Here, the editorial side, I always say it starts at the top. Like, there's never been a time that Jimmy Van's been too busy for me. Sean was the first person to send me flowers when Buster died, while CM Punk was having a meltdown at a press conference. Like, there's always an emphasis on being human beings here first. So very, very much appreciated. Some very, very wild times, especially on this show. We always seem to we've gotten some very, very fun things. We've gotten some tragic things. It was us with Jay Briscoe. It was us when the non-deal with Saudi Arabia was announced. It's been wild. So thankful for the entire ride, and appreciate everybody that tunes in, because you guys are as big of a part of it as anything. So thank you.
Yes, it's we were talking about this, I think, last night, that it feels like it's been 3 months or 10 years.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy how
both
long
somehow.
like somehow both, depending on what day it is. I can say this without any artifice whatsoever. I wouldn't still be doing the show if I wasn't doing it with you. I just wouldn't. Doing the show is incredibly fun for me. Watching the shit I have to talk about is not fun. You know what I mean? And having to talk about it I brought you in because they were starting NXT 2.0, and I was like, I'm not going to be able to just sit and talk. I'm not going to be able to talk about this. I'm not going to be able to talk about this with nobody. Let me see if she seems like she'd be fun. Let's try it. We did one episode, and I was like, you're hired. You're coming back every week. And it's on those I was gonna say rare, but not really rare occasions when you get COVID and you're gone. I have to do the show by myself again. It's like, I really miss Kate. The chat's great and it's fun to like interact with the chat, but it's not the same. And so it's been 3 years of doing the Tuesday shows. Has not fully, as in a couple of months, a couple of weeks, but like, it is like a really great 3 years of my life has been doing this on Tuesdays. I look forward to not watching the Drek we talk about, but after the Drek, when we get to like just hang out and and do bits and just pop ourselves, and hopefully the chat gets popped as well.
That's it. That's the whole name of the game.
Yeah.
That's the whole name of the game.
Yeah. And also it is one of the very greatest things in my life when people in the chat send us messages or even say things in the chat about how we've helped them through like deaths in the family or losing their job or whatever. And like, that is the greatest thing. So we're so grateful we could have helped anybody, but also we're so grateful for you to have come in and found this and made this show does not exist in its form without the people who are here every week, because otherwise we're literally just doing bits to pop ourselves.
Yeah.
And
which
it's
we're
that's
doing
not
anyway, but
which we're doing anyway, but it's a way more fun when we pop you guys too. So just saying.
Truly. And like so much of my life has changed, some good and some bad. So it is so wonderful for me too. So wonderful for me too. So thank you guys. And like a true white girl, I'll celebrate all week. So
yeah, good. You deserve it. The Pongy Vice says, show hasn't started yet. Must have sent this a while ago. But we already know Kate is looking absolutely ravishing and bangtastic for her anniversary. Much love.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Paul Elizabeth, your dad, says, greetings, SGS, and our feeler super chatter, JW Pringle. Everything sucks. That's it. That's the whole message. You can't improve on perfection after all. Thank you so much, Paul Elizabeth. Robzilla says, happy 3rd anniversary, Kate. You deserved better than another HBK sucks at booking special. Yes,
that
true.
Is what I got tonight.
Mm-hmm. Alpha Bill says, happy Kate anniversary. Big hugs.
Thank
Alex, you are loved. Well, thank you very much, Alpha Bill. Tim McFowle says, happy 3 years, Kate. You add so much to Fightful and the SGS. Women's voices in wrestling are vital, and it doesn't hurt that you're good at it too. Also,
thank you.
We need you to help Alex not jump out of his window. Yes.
Well, yes, that is probably my primary responsibility, especially on nights like tonight. But thank you very much. It's a big testament to Sean that we have almost a 50-50 split of male to female hosts. And the funny thing is, who's always advocating for women in this space and wrestling, am the one that messed it up because I brought Cardoza in. So I'm the one that created the imbalance by one person.
Yep. Lieutenant Colonel Photo, thank you for your service. Says, Kate, happy anniversary. I am always absolutely influenced. Alex, I'm sorry. I haven't watched any wrestling since last Wednesday. Sands of Blinding shows is kind of fun. Love to the SGS. Yes, it is. Sands of Blinding shows is kind of fun.
It's very fun.
Bad Apple Jam Treebeard says, this on the night of our Kate's anniversary, you bring us this crap show. Yes, it is true. Unfortunately,
a rough one tonight for sure.
Yeah. Tom Valley says, hey, turn that frown upside down. We heart y'all. Okay, well, the thing that made my frown upside downable is listen, this is a tough one for me because I recognize that the two things I hated the most on the show tonight are the correct things to do.
Tough. That's always a tough one.
Like, it's the right move to have no quarter catch crew regain the Heritage Cup because Ren Sinclair, who they didn't want to include, directly caused them to win, caused Charlie Dempsey to win. Charlie Dempsey did not want her in the group. He had to be forced to put her in the group by the same man whom he beat tonight to regain the Heritage Cup. That is the correct path for the story to go. I hate it because I love Tony D, and I am tired of watching that man lose to clown ass joke factions in various ways on this show. Now I understand he himself is also in a clown ass joke faction, but his clown ass joke faction is millions of times better than the clown ass joke factions that he finds himself losing to. Now, it's fine. He's going to move on. I'm not sure that I like where he's moving on to personally, because it's going to create a Sophie's Choice moment for me like no one has ever seen. But I can recognize that it is correct for them to do the thing where Ren Sinclair cheats to help Charlie Dempsey win the Heritage Cup. That is the correct thing to do. And also, at the same time, I fucking hate it. So, like, there's both of those things can be true.
There's one crucial piece that you're leaving out of this, which is that Tony G never ate spaghetti out of the Heritage Cup. Which is a literal tragedy. So, that is probably the biggest issue in all of this. My issue is it's just the exact same story that's going on with Chase U and Ridge Holland. It's the exact same thing, except with a girl.
Yes,
so
it is. It is.
That part is what I don't like, is the laziness of the creative to just copy and paste. Oh, the university thing? Let's just do that with the No Quarter Catch crew. But Ren Sinclair's very funny. So, I don't like that at all. There was talk of the family moving up as an act. I don't know if this is symptomatic of that. Like, if his swan song is losing to Oba Femi, that ain't bad. But what's next after that if he isn't going up? That's actually, I'm gonna message Corey right now and see if he's heard anything about that. But you're right in that it is the correct decision for the story. I don't feel like Tony D maybe necessarily needs the Heritage Cup, and it does feel like this is something that, if you're gonna have the No Quarter Catch crew try and continue, like, this style match is what makes sense for them. But it makes sense because it's basically pure rules, and they're supposed to care about the integrity of wrestling. To get there via a bunch of overbooking isn't the greatest thing in the world, but I'm willing to see where they go next with it. I just wish the Heritage Cup was something that had less interference and more breathing room, because I think it's a very cool thing to have on your show. Like, genuinely, I like having a specialty with stipulations. You guys know I'm a pure rules nerd. So I just wish that the story was built into the stipulations of the match, and that so much of it wasn't. Because with No Amdar, it was the same thing, like overbooking City, right? So just give it some breathing room. This story called for it, but we'll see what happens next.
I always hate interference finishes, distraction finishes, but I really hate interference finishes.
Yeah.
When it's in a pure rules type situation where, like, they specifically state if you interfere, if there's an interference, a DQ, that's the end of the match and you lose. So number one, again, we got the Noam Dar memorial after the bell, I'm gonna hit you in the face move from Charlie Dempsey, which is like they're getting further and further after the bell. It's like ding, 1,000, 1,000, hit him in the face. And I just don't feel like the ref's right there, like the referee's gonna have to use his discretion. Well, no, just that's obviously a disqualification. It's after the bell. Ding, ding. How much discretion? If it happened a minute after the bell, like at that point, would he still be able to, like, it's a judgment call, honestly. Like, we're not calling balls and strikes here. Yeah. Like, he's that's it. You know, like, whatever. It's a dumb thing. but Ren Sinclair blatantly pushing Tony D off the top rope. It just sucks. It's, again, the correct thing to do for the story that they're doing. I don't know. I always hate that kind of crap. So that's how it happened. That's how Charlie Dempsey got the final victory. The final thing was because Ren Sinclair pushed Tony D off the top rope. So,
well, yeah, we just ran this play. Like, when I say we did this with Chase U, I mean like a couple weeks ago.
No,
right?
I mean, yeah.
like it's not like, oh, we did this with Chase U a year ago. It's we ran this exact same play 6 weeks ago, baby, or whatever. Yeah. So to me, it just you just gotta freshen it up. You gotta freshen it up. It's not great, but I agree with you. It's the right call. I'm glad they're doing something with Ren Sinclair. I do like that we're getting more of a talent rotation, like Wes Lee in the title picture, Ren Sinclair coming in, doing something with more intentionality now. Like, this part is good.
Right.
How the chips are being laid out, not as good for most of the show.
Right. Going back to the Wes Lee promo, Bad Apple Jam saying that if Joe Hendry wins the title shot, he'll be feuding with both former members of the North, which is
that's perfect. There should be
it's kind of the point, right? Yeah. That Ethan Page will put over Josh Alexander in all of his promos to Joe Hendry and vice versa.
Such a great tag team.
And also Treebeard says, so is Wes Lee doing an anti-TNA pro WWE gimmick now? Basically, like you guys are fine in the small pond, but I'm a big fish and I'm gonna become the NXT champion. That kind of deal, right?
Yeah, but I feel like that's a little bit of an oversimplification of that, because he said I had to become an NXT star after you screwed it up, kind of thing. So I really liked that piece of it for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so they've announced a women's gauntlet eliminator match.
Yes, they did.
They didn't really specify, like, they name things dumb stuff. Is it just a gauntlet match? Because women's gauntlet eliminators, like, is it an eliminator match because you're eliminated? I don't know. Like, is it a thing where, like, they just keep showing up and then eventually they pin one? Is it basically, have they just
the casino gauntlet?
Have they just slid the casino gauntlet into NXT and are calling it something different now? Or is it like, if you get in, you have to be eliminated and like the last woman standing is the winner? Is it basically an elimination chamber match without the chambers?
That's what I'm assuming. I'm sure they'll tell us several times between now and next week, or 4 times in the same episode,
or never, and then they'll just start the match. You know what I mean?
Well,
like, it's
to their credit. When what was the one that we were like, this is so weird?
Iron Survivor.
The Iron Survivor match. They told us those rules several times. Yes. We just were like, what is this? And then it ended up being really cool. So they'll probably tell us the rules several times.
Yeah, they might. They might. I don't know.
But
I
I would be surprised if there's not some names in there.
Yeah.
That would be on their way in, which is really cool. And there might be some more TNA names, which is also very cool.
Yeah. So no, the women's gauntlet, they announced who's in it. There are going to be 6 women in it. So they announced it. This is probably also while you were walking Daphne.
Maybe.
They said, oh, what a great idea that Stevie had. Here is the Tumblr. So we will roll the things. And they announce first, they say it's Ren Sinclair, Sol Ruka, and Big Ange. I'm not going to use her other name because that's not who she is. Her name is Big Ange.
Forever.
They're the 3 of them. And then we come back later. And then we announced that it's Jada, Parker, Kendall Gray, and Carmen Petrovich. So those are the 6 that are competing to face Roxanne at No Mercy. So we're getting that thing. And Corey on Twitter seems to think that there'll be an extra person like Stephanie Vaquer or Julia will just show up like Brock in Money in the Bank and just walk down like, oh, I guess they're in the match now. Which, like, yeah, I want to see Julia and Steph in NXT versus our Roxy too. But could you do it where it's not a blatant violation of the rules that you particularly set out? I'm hoping it's not. I'm hoping it's just Corey, spouting off, and not Corey being like, well,
hint, nudge, nudge,
hintity, hint, and send. I hope it's not that.
It could also be like Julia knocks Kendall Gray out and takes.
I mean, sure. It could do that.
Probably more like.
So your women's gauntlet is next week, and then after they announce who it is, the finals, we also see Roxanne come in and talk and say mean things to Ava.
Such mean things.
She's so mean, and
she's not nice.
She's almost like a mean girl, but not really. Anyway, so
she does say like, I proved myself in a match like this or a similar match.
Right.
When I owned the breakout tournament, this is a great way for women to prove that they're on my level.
Yeah.
Which is good-ish.
Right. Also, they did announce that it was though people who were eligible are people who haven't had a shot at Roxy's title.
That's fair.
But it wasn't who haven't had a shot at any title, because Sol Ruka's in it, and she had a shot at Kalani's title. So,
right, which is fair. They haven't had
which is fair, but it has caused some confusion among some people. So
okay. For the world title. That's fair.
Yeah, for the world title. Now, I think there's in the field, I only see two options. It's Jada Parker, which is likely because she's had, interactions with Roxanne, or Sol Ruka, which either of those would be very good matches. But I'm hoping it's Sol Ruka simply for this reason. I do not want the Roxanne Perez reign to be simply a vessel for unnecessary babyface turns. Like, Lola Vice didn't need to turn face. I don't know why we did that. She was a much better heel than she is as a face. She's the best friend of literally everybody in the locker room when she had nothing but awful things to say about all of them 3.5 weeks ago. So I don't understand how that works. And now we're doing this thing with Jada Parker, who's so good. Is like this trash talking heel who hits hard.
Meant to be a heel.
She's meant to at least be tweener, leaning heel. And I hope that that's where she is coming out of the match with with Roxanne, and not like, well, here in this promo with you, Roxanne, I'm going to cry about something nobody knew about. And therefore we're going to build sympathy for me. And that's what we're going to do from now on. I don't need Jada Parker being babyface, because apparently when you turn somebody from heel to babyface, they just become the best friend to everybody in the locker room. And I can't see Jada Parker being that. I don't want to see it. She's so good at being the opposite of that. So I just don't want that to be the Roxy thing.
You have a babyface mid-card title holder. So let the heels cook with her and have the faces face Roxanne, respectively.
Yeah. Yes.
Like Jada versus Kalani is something I want to see really bad.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping it's Sol Ruka too. I feel like the way she's been showing out and how much fire she's caught, it's very possible, if not likely, that it's Sol Ruka.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Ryan Cicchini says Kendall Gray gets 2 eliminations and Sol wins.
I could see that. Like Kendall gets to showcase what she can do a little bit.
Yeah. Bad Apple Jam says, I want the one to win the gauntlet to be the one that doesn't use booty themed offense. So I guess that's Soul or maybe Carmen. And if it's Carmen, we're gonna have a lot of shing shing action. That is her new catchphrase. Apparently, when her number was drawn from the little spinner, she was like, "All right, gonna get some of that shing shing action." I was like, "That's a 4 out of 10." I mean, it's just not. It's not the best catchphrase. I get what you're doing, but I don't know, man. It's the shing shing thing. Some like you got the shing. You know.
She can say whatever she wants. She's got a sword. I'm not messing with someone
I
with a sword.
mean,
As far as I'm concerned, if you're sword wielding, that's an 11 out of 10 catchphrase.
She doesn't.
Because if I come across her and she's got a sword, guess what? I don't have a sword, Alex.
Okay, fine.
So I'm just saying.
Also coming out of this, we get Brindley Reese, who is no longer Thea Hale's older sister. She's just blonde number 6. Like, she had all of this personality when she was doing stuff with Edison O'Fay and Malik Blade. They dropped that angle entirely. I'm not saying I loved the whole I broke a mirror, now we're cursed forever angle, but I thought the three of them together were fun to watch. And they just dropped them entirely from each other. We got to see them later. Like, they're apparently going to go take Brooks Jensen under their wing or some crap. But, like, I liked them together, but when you split them, you didn't need to make Brindley Reese just like an NPC with no characteristics. Like, she was fun. I don't notice, like, she's like, "Hi, I'm very happy for you that you won the lottery. Let us go walk in this direction." That's not who Brindley Reese used to be. You know? I'm sorry. What's so funny? I don't know.
You're robot Brindley Reese. I mean, here's the thing. I would like for her to have a personality. It was way too close to Thea Hale. They had to pick one or the other.
I understand.
Thea's far more established, but they should not have pivoted to nothing.
Or just reintroduce her as Thea Hale's older sister, her older sorority sister, she's a junior at Chase U, and Thea Hale's just a freshman.
You don't want Chase U to have more people in it.
No, I don't.
Let's be
but
I
do want them to make them sisters.
They should be sisters on the show, but Idris and Malik, man, it was like, not to harp on it, but they had that match versus the Blurry Boys, and it felt like, okay, we unlocked something, and then they were like, here is the gimmickiest gimmick, instead of you guys just having to be characters, getting to be characters.
Right.
So it feels like we've been with the two of them dancing around stuff for a while now. Of like, they're these guys. He's a sweater vest wearing nerd, and he like. I think they need to dig into them as people and pull it out of them instead of just trying to assign. It feels like they're trying to assign them a template and see what works. Where I feel like they need that's not the approach with them. Because it hasn't really worked. And it's not that they're doing a bad job with what they've been given, honestly.
Right.
They've improved a lot, especially in the ring. But, like, it's always something kind of goofy with them, and I think maybe they're actually just kind of cool. Maybe there's something cool in there that they can tap into. That would be fun. Right. I think Brindley Reese, she is blonde, so we'll probably find out that she was a D3 athlete at some school.
No, but she was an athlete. That's the whole thing, that they did this thing. Well, anyway, they do a thing with Lash Legend and Fallon is in the makeup chair. Fallon did not appear on the show in any capacity other than sitting on the makeup chair. Like, what are you giving her what did she sit in the makeup chair for?
Her makeover was terrible, I guess.
Anyway, they're fighting over who's used to be an athlete. Just because I wasn't a D1 baseball player. Excuse you, that's basketball player. And I don't know why you're even talking. Wasn't she a D1 soccer player? I was like, yeah, well, whatever. It's not even about that. Everyone should be following in her footsteps. Blah, 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 blah. to get back to the Brindley Reese thing, she and Carmen are walking over, and Izzy Dame is very like, if anyone deserved to be in that gauntlet match, it's me. It was a random drawing. It wasn't like they selected somebody over you, Izzy. That doesn't like me say. And then Brindley's like, she's just bitching again. I was like, oh, that's not my Brindley. My Brindley would never use language like that.
The B word?
No.
In this economy?
No. But they decided we're gonna have Izzy versus Brindley, which is what you would expect it to be. Matt Logan says their slogan, NXT, we have a lot of blonde women. Like, that's basically their if you like blonde women, we're for you. Blonde women are us. That is the next, that's if you opened up a store in the PC, it would be called Blonde Women Are Us.
There's nothing wrong with that, Alex. God.
But see, you're 24. You're too old to be.
It's true. I am 24.
You're far too old.
I've updated there.
So Izzy beat Brindley Reese later in the show. It was a match that happened. I keep waiting for Carmen Petrovich to use her sword. I thought she might have used it on Izzy Dame, but she apparently does not know how to use her sword. And Bad Apple Jam Treebeard says, and if you need help wielding your sword, Blue Chew Code Fightful might be for you.
Would you take the magic out of it? I don't want to do the segue when someone else comes out with it. It's like I don't even want to do it, but I'll tell you what.
What?
If someone took the magic out of your sword.
Yeah.
If you're feeling a little deflated because someone took your joke.
Right, yes.
Blue Chew, main event performance, main event confidence, and a main event deal. Go to BlueChew.com and use the code FIGHTFUL, and you will get Blue Chew with their first shipment for free. Shipment? Yeah, I said shipment. No waiting in line at the pharmacy, no awkward doctor's visits. You take their online exam, and then if approved, it's shipped straight to your door. That's right. Same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in a chewable form and much more affordable. How can you pass up on this? How can you pass up on that confidence? How can you pass up on that performance? How can you pass up on making your sex life better? That's what Blue Chew is here to do. You don't have to have a problem to use Blue Chew. Just get that additional performance. BlueChew.com and the code FIGHTFUL.
You're muted again. You're muted again. Sorry. Now you're back.
With all of the money that you're saving on Blue Chew. Because I know you guys were shelling out for it, okay?
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
You should head over to FightfulSelect.com and subscribe. And OMG, there are so many reasons why. You got Corey Brennan with your NXT scoops. Sean had some when in relation to the TNA crossover stuff. So you're covered there from both sides. You can hang out in the Discord with some normies. We have our Fightful Select Discord, which is a great place to be. Sean, during the last pay-per-view ban during SummerSlam, was just like, this person's a gorilla, this person's a gorilla. Like, didn't even have time to rate the stories. He was like, I'm just dropping them in the Discord. So hop in there for some scoop skis as well. The Ask SRS channel, extremely valuable. On Fightful Select, the Q&A report and the backstage report are now one report. They got smooshed. So you get double the value in one show there, but you also get me and Alex continuing to be extremely silly. And we're going to continue to be extremely sour at the Bash and Berlin post show. So if you want alternatives to what is on the main for post shows, you got me and Alex behind the paywall. So hang out with us there. So much value on FightfulSelect.com. It's also how we get paid. So head over there and subscribe so we continue to get paid. How about that?
Yeah. In other women's news,
Blonde news.
No, not this one. This one, not so much.
What?
I know.
Must be
Kalani and Lola Vice are best friends now. They're just the best of friends. And they're like, hey, what happened with Tatum? Oh, yeah, she gave me a run for my money, but looks like she's not quite over it. I know. That's okay. I'll go talk to her, Chica. And so she goes over and talks to Tatum, and I missed it. Tatum said something that creeped out Lola, and they decided to have a match about it, I guess. I don't know. But so Lola and Tatum had a match about it with Kalani at ringside on commentary. Scintillating, just so much offered in analysis. Lola Vice beat Tatum Paxley and then like helped her up and hugged her. So she literally is the best friend of everybody.
I guess so.
He won with the back fist, and then right after that happened, Wendy Chu appeared with like crazy new pink face paint all over her face. There was like a lot of like fuchsia, like she was painted fuchsia. I don't know why, but she was. And then she choked out Kalani and held the title above her head. And Lola and Tatum both in the ring hugging each other, super scared of Wendy Chu. Did not do. Lola Vice, you beat Shayna Baszler half to death.
Yeah,
why are you scared?
Shayna wasn't like creepy. I am now at the point where Wendy Chu owes us a what's going on.
Yeah.
Like when your face is fuchsia now, we're owed why is your face both creepy and fuchsia?
Yeah.
But she's so incredible, man. Like she really, every cell in her body commits to whatever she's doing, and I'm looking forward to it. I want her to win is the problem.
Yeah. I want Wendy Chu to win, but I also want Wendy Chu to tell us what the hell's going on.
Yeah, no, I think this is the feud where we find that out, because she hasn't been in a feud. She's just been palling around with Tatum. We also need to, in WWE as a whole, begging you not to define every woman by friendships. Like, Lyra has only been someone's friend since she's moved to the main roster. What I like with, say, Shayna, Zoe, and Sonya was it felt like Sonya was making a business decision by uniting them under the same umbrella as her. Like, that kind of stuff I think is better instead of just like, hey, you seem cool. Want to fight other people together? Like, doesn't really click.
Yeah.
So Lola being everybody's best friend doesn't work for me, brother.
I like this from Cyclo. What if Wendy's just been sleepwalking this entire time?
What a creepy ass sleepwalker, but I'll take it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Henry T. Casey says,
Henry the Casey.
Happy third Slammiversary, Kate.
Oh, thank you.
A fan of yours. You replied to something negative I posted on Twitter and tacitly challenged me to be better. Thank you for improving this community.
That's so sweet. I don't even recall doing that. I think I might actually, now that you've said it. That happened with somebody else where I just said, do it, you coward, to them, and then they did it. But I always appreciate our interactions. I actually had a chance to meet Henry the Casey. We went to Stokely's comedy show a couple years ago now. A great person and a great voice to follow in this community as well. So follow Henry the Casey. He's wonderful, but the human interactions in this world are the best part.
Yes. So the second thing that happened that was really terrible tonight was Lexus King won. He beat Eddy Thorpe, and thus proving Booker T right about how this man is a star. This man has the entourage. And I was like, he's got Turtle?
I don't think he meant the show so much.
I understand, but he did say he's got the entourage.
It's true.
Which to me sounds like what Linda would say if you presented her with like a box set.
100%.
Oh, you got me the entourage.
Oh,
I have never actually seen this because my HBO subscription lapsed back in 1987. But anyway, But thank you. I'll definitely put this in the old DVD player. But thank you. You got me the entourage. Thank you.
I love Face of Blender.
It's your 3rd anniversary. She had to come out at some point.
It is. She had to say hi.
But yeah, no, he won because he was just beating up on his broken hand, which I forgot that he did when he hit him with the scepter on the hand on the steps weeks ago. Yes. So when they say he's got a broken hand, I was like, they've played film of it. Oh, right. My brain forces out all recollection of anything Lexus King does immediately after it happens. So, yeah, I'd forgotten about that. But tonight I have still remembered that he beat Eddy Thorpe, which means this thing continues forever. They said now it's personal. It's not personal. It's about EDM versus hair metal. That's not personal. That is literally, there's nothing smaller you could be fighting over.
Well, I felt like they did tell us in a vignette that he was DJing with like the love of his ancestors, that like his music roots were in that of his ancestors. But Lexus King is stuck in 1984, brother. Like, I don't know. I don't know why it's so personal for him. He just wants him to turn down the beat boops and turn up the guitar riffs, but he can listen to all the Poison he wants. Like, I don't think Eddy Thorpe's stopping him from doing that.
The match was way shorter than I thought it was going to be. Not that I wanted to watch Lexus King for a long time, but they're telling the story. Eventually, God willing, Eddy Thorpe will beat Brian Pillman Jr. Conclusively and move on to something. I feel like Eddy Thorpe is, if you told me that that they were going to build him for a title shot versus Ethan Page, like if Ethan Page holds the title for the rest of, let's say, 2024, and at some point in there, Eddy Thorpe, where it was a guy who got a title shot, wasn't going to win, but got a title shot, I would believe it. However, I can't believe it now because he can't quite get past Lexus King.
Have you considered it might be because of the sick riffs in his ears? Lexus King versus Oba Femi seems like a logical next step. Like that'll probably be an upcoming feud at some point. I don't know. The King of the Slidey Throne. He's kind of maddening to review, honestly, because I can't fully say he's doing anything wrong. But there's something that definitely isn't like clicking about when I watch him wrestle, if that makes sense. Like, he's not executing moves wrong. Right. He's not even not telling story.
Right.
Like, I can't identify what's missing for this guy. And that is... Yes. That makes it very annoying as someone who analyzes matches. Because I'm like, it just... I as someone established on the show, I don't believe in it. Like, I believe in hard work. And I believe people are naturally inclined for things.
Yes.
But it does make me think there's some sort of it factor when someone can be doing everything technically correctly. And me still just be like, nah, I'm not invested. So
yes.
I don't know. But Eddy Thorpe, very high ceiling. I feel like this match didn't do enough of him being able to kick a bunch of ass, which is how I like my Eddy Thorpe.
Louise says if it was hair metal versus grunge, then it would make sense for it to be personal because they're mortal enemies.
I was going to say, if Eddy Thorpe wins this, he should change his character name to Grunge because it'll be like he put hair metal in the ground, which is precisely what the grunge movement did.
Yeah.
Thanks,
we mentioned briefly before, Trick Williams did a promo vignette that didn't make a lot of sense, where he basically said he was Sherlock Holmes, I think. And then Peter Dune got interviewed about it and says, "I've moved on," and so he has. But Trick Williams, again, I cannot remember such a meteoric rise of a dude being that super organically over. The crowd in that place loves him so much. When he showed up on an episode of SmackDown randomly to save Carmelo Hayes from being beaten up by something. The crowd there was doing his damn chant. And I still can't believe this is what they've got for him after a title reign. It doesn't make any sense to
after
me.
barely a title reign.
I mean, yeah, after barely a title reign.
I feel like they are trying to fix something that is not broken with him. Mm-hmm. I think there's things that they need to maybe improve on with Trick to put the final pieces together. Yes. But the things that they're trying to change are not the things that need to change. I feel like they're robbing us of what's special about Trick rather than focusing on the things that could probably improve a little bit.
There was an interview with the Blurry Boys. Leave the memories alone. We won't talk about it too much. We will say that they were about to ask Tony D about, how he feels about losing the Heritage Cup title, but Oba just brushed by him, so we're definitely getting that. But Ryan Cicchini says, no quarter catch crew will be the biggest NXT faction when Tavion returns in all his glory. Luis saying he had a spectacular match against Kino yesterday, a must watch. Tavion Heights, man, there's a guy that I saw in the breakout tournament, and I said, who is that? Why is that guy not all over the television? And then after the breakout tournament, he was less on the television and for months. And I don't understand why that was the case. I'm glad that they're doing more with him. We will see where all of that goes, but he's great. I love Tavion Heights.
He is having from my understanding, I haven't been watching it, but I saw some highlights from yesterday, and wow, an excellent N1 showing from my understanding. If you're not familiar with the N1, it's Pro Wrestling Noah's version of the G1. If you're not familiar with the G1, that is New Japan's tournament that sets everything up. And the important thing that you should know is that Zack Sabre Jr. is in the semifinals. And if you don't know who Zack Sabre Jr. is, you've never watched the show before. So.
Right, true.
And you should. Shame on
you. Apparently he had also a really good match against Alpha Wolf, who is apparently an absolute stud from Jalisco. That's what
awesome.
is telling me. Kate,
Alex.
Look, Oba shouldn't take any moves from anybody. That's my thing. I don't think Oba should take any offense from anyone. He is so damn good and so believable as a just an absolute force of murder. And I don't enjoy seeing him sell for Otis. Most of the match was him selling for Otis. And yes, I know Otis is a very big guy. And yes, I understand that Otis actually can wrestle. But when for months and months he was just a screw up under Chad Gable. And I understand he's got a new t-shirt that says we should free him, even though he's been freed for literally months at this point. I don't. The thing that really almost broke me is I had to watch Oba take the fat worm, the caterpillar. I had to watch Oba take the caterpillar, and he had to kick out of it like it was this close. And we've never seen Oba have to kick out so late from the caterpillar. And I think there is a place. I do think there is a place for comedy, heels, and baby faces in wrestling, but that place is as far away from Oba Femi as possible. That is my dissertation, and I yield back the rest of my time.
I, from the floor, will pick up some of your time there. Shout out to the chat from Scott George that said Evil is eliminated from the G1. Best Evil match ever.
Oh, thank God. Thank God, but he's eliminated.
That's such a good match. It was 19 seconds. God bless you, Zack Sabre Jr. I agree with you about the caterpillar spot. I disagree with you about a lot of the other stuff. I had so much fun watching this match.
Yeah,
I thought it was really fun, and from the watching the show versus keeping the bigger picture in mind thing too is something that I try to balance, because my job is to analyze the show, but it's also to keep in mind that the context of we're in developmental, like Oba Femi knowing how to sell is important, and Oba Femi knowing how to sell for guys of this size is also
important. Is
it
though? Should he ever sell? Should he ever have to sell? Should
what Roman... is he, Will Ospreay? This no-selling son of a bitch.
Should Roman Reigns try to spear him, but then just goes like?
Well, yes.
I mean, is there anyone who should be able to get in offense that works on Oba Femi? I submit no. I submit that no one anything anyone does. If someone were to hit him with an actual wrecking ball, the wrecking ball should shatter. That is how in the tank I am for Oba Femi, and I make no apologies for it.
You have such a crush on Oba Femi.
I do.
If you and he were in a tree, you would be smooching so much.
SSING.
First, love. Second, there'd be marriage.
Yep.
Then comes this like badass but very angry baby in a baby carriage. It'd be an interesting child. But regardless, I thought he did a great job selling here. I do feel like we've seen
he's good at it. That's unfortunate.
He's really good at it. I like seeing Otis be able to actually wrestle as well. There was a lot of that in here, which was good. Mm-hmm. I will say, and this is me being a little bit more on the U side than the rational wrestling fan side. This is the Oba loyalist camp. This is me coming out here, okay? I've seen him in peril too many times, and I think it's only been 2 times. I think it was just in the triple threat and this. Was there one other match where he was selling his ass off too? It might have just been those 2, but that's one too many.
He got far too close to losing to Wes Lee in their one-on-one. I love Wes Lee, but like, come on. So like, there's just a thing that I understand he can't squash everybody, but there's
what? To your point, though?
Of all the people, a guy the size of Otis should be able to inflict the most damage on him. I look at Otis and I just see comedy fat guy, because that's who he's been booked as forever. And I don't care how strong the comedy fat guy is. The comedy fat guy's stuff should bounce off of Oba. That's just like, if you were booking him as the guy that he was like a year and a half ago, where he was like a powerhouse in Alpha Academy, when he shaved off the beard and was like wrecking people. That guy, sure. But the guy was like, ooh, yeah. That guy shouldn't get anything in on Oba Femi. I'm so sorry.
I quite enjoyed it, but I understand what you're saying. And I will say, I think, and I'm actually, this is what Oba Femi does. He takes me so far out of my wheelhouse, okay? Because he's just a different guy. I'm actually not normally in the camp of the Wardlow push of squash a million dudes. Mm-hmm. Oba Femi should be squashing nerds from Level Up on weeks where he has nothing to do, so that these matches mean a little bit more.
Yes.
Like, if he squashed 6 nerds from Level Up, I mean that lovingly.
Yes.
My Level Up guys.
Yes.
And then he had that match with Wes Lee, I would have liked that a little bit more.
Yeah. Like it basically, here's I don't know, man. Now it seems weird coming out of my mouth this phrase, but if this was Oba's catchphrase, this was a thing that he said to Ava walking into her office. Oba needs to eat. Like, I'm starving. Give me more. Like just him. You cannot put enough men for me to crush in my path. I must crush all. Give me everything. Put everything in front of me. And so like he demands at the beginning of the second hour every week, put these men in front of me. I will squash all of them. And while you are getting around to figuring out who my next challenger will be, I am not taking any weeks off. Oba needs to eat. Do it.
Hear me out. Oh, the chat beat me to it. Ryback comes in. He says, "Feed me more."
And then Oba unhinges his jaw and swallows Ryback whole. And he says, "Do you have anything else for dessert?" Like, come on.
And then Ryback cries about it on his podcast.
From inside Oba's belly.
From inside Oba's belly. And then Mansoor and Mason tell a story about it. And they get
So Oba eventually is up against the wall, up against the turnbuckle, and Otis is giving him the 10 punches, and he picks him up and walks 4 or 5 steps out into the ring and then power bombs him. And Otis bounces 3 feet up into the air, and then he pins him. So he won, but he took 65% of the offense in the match. And it just feels like that happens too often to me. And it too often means once. You know what I mean? Like it just, I don't know, man.
I swear to God, if they don't stop hammering this home the one time that they do this.
Yeah. So, okay, there's obviously, okay, here we go. Azim Suleiman says, Oba Femi is amazing. I was at Raw last night and got to see him live. I was also right behind him when he came out to set up the match with Otis. God, he is one of those guys who I would want if he had the right opponent. He's one of those guys that I would really love to see live.
You want to see him?
I mean, yes, preferably in a tree, preferably in a tree, so that the rhyme scheme.
I know it's real love when you want to go see someone live because you don't go to live shows.
I don't.
Mustafa and Oba are the list.
Meat Norma says Oba should come out like Lance Archer used to by yeeting a jobber out of the tunnel before he squashed people. Oba Meaty should have all the belts. Yes, you are right, Meat Normus.
Including the Divas belt.
Bad Apple Jam said this. I refuse to accept this review show has started until Alex does the Oba shuffle. Is that this thing where he does like this?
I think so. I believe so.
Is that the Oba shuffle? I love that. If that's the Oba shuffle, consider it shuffled. Bad Apple Jam Treebeard says PCO tweeting about the Oba and Otis match. Give me Oba versus PCO in a big Haas fight. Yeah, if they're gonna bring a guy over from TNA, that's a good guy who can lose. You know what I mean?
Nah, give me a young fresh arm out of the bullpen for Oba. I don't want to see Moose. I don't want to see PCO. I get what people are going for with those. Don't get me wrong, but like,
yeah.
Give me Josh Alexander. Give me Chris Bay. Give me a young rising star against Oba.
So that Oba can crush him.
No,
PCO is great because he'll come in, he'll throw literally everything he can against Oba, and Oba will get up off the mat and put Frankenstein through the mat. That's what I don't want. I don't want to see him have to sell for Chris Bay. No, I'm sorry. I don't. I have vetoed it. Veto.
Didn't he just not marry Steph DeLander? Like, I don't feel like the next step for him should be Oba Femi. Jake something. There's the move.
Okay, Jake something.
Jake
fine.
something.
Yes. Jake something's great. Hammerstone. Hammerstone versus Oba would be tremendous. Yes, let's get that done tomorrow if possible.
Remember they said he was like if Hulk Hogan was good.
Yeah.
I stand by that.
Meat Norma says, when are we getting Oba, Tony D? It'll be meaty. MD Cyclo says, Oba has to sell against Tony D, Alex. Yes, I know. I know, and that is the one case where I will be like, I will allow it. However, I don't know who to root for. Kate,
You need to do a watch along for that because I want to see the meltdown.
I'm just like, oh no! Like if Tony D somehow beats him, then he has to do the Italian American Championship. It has to happen. It's a thing I've been pitching since November of 2021. Like, I need to have it happen. It's a thing that must happen if he beats Oba. But also, Oba should never lose a title. He should vacate every title as he moves up to land. Like I am no longer the North American champion because I am now the Intercontinental champion. I am no longer the Intercontinental champion because I am now the world champion. I will be the world champion until the day I retire. That is what Oba Femi should do, and I will hear no arguments to the contrary.
Oba Femi for the women's tag team championships.
I mean, yes.
It might get them feeling important.
It might. The Oba Femi shuffle is better than Jackie Fargo's strut. I won't hear otherwise. I'm not sure if I understand that.
The Fargo strut is the thing Jeff Jarrett does.
Oh yes, of course. It's 100 million times better than that. What are we? Who could argue that point? I mean, what? No, the Oba Femi shuffle.
You know who? The Jeff Jarrett pervs out there. That's who.
those pervs who think it's a good idea for Hangman Page to have a pit stop with Jeff Jarrett and friggin' All In. Tom Campbell, I'm looking at you.
Tom Campbell,
you did this. You did this, Tom Campbell.
Hangman
Page versus Jeff Jarrett is your fault, Tom Campbell.
You want to shoot on Tom Campbell on my 3rd year anniversary here at Fightful? Let's shoot, okay? First, Tom Campbell comes at me on Twitter a whole bunch and threatens to fight me at Wembley Way. Then he gets me locked out of Twitter. And then he's a Jeff Jarrett perv. And then when I get locked out of Twitter again, second most peaceful week of my life, you know what he does? I'm not kidding. He tags me in several, I'm upwards of a dozen silly goose video and memes on Instagram. Like I don't know I'm a silly goose. You think I don't know I'm a silly goose, Tom Campbell?
Listen, you've been a silly goose for a minimum of 3 years. For as long as I've known you, you've been a silly goose. It's kind of obvious. I don't know what he's doing out here. Trying to be like, oh, Kate's a silly goose. Yeah, we know.
Yeah. Also, the sky is blue. Tom, go support him. He's doing a run for mental health. Whatever. Tom Campbell.
My mental health is hurting because I got to watch Hangman versus Jeff Jarrett at Wembley.
Because
my mental health is suffering because Tom Campbell, go on your little marathon for that.
Yeah, mental health. Maybe knock it off with your fantasy booking, Tom. I don't even think Campbell Soup was named after you and your family. Fight me about it on Wembley Way.
Luis says Sour Grap's coffee run stream for Oba versus Tony D on Fightful Overbooked. Book it. There was a Brooks Jensen interview. It wasn't actually an interview. He was just talking in front of Sean Spears and some other guys. Like, were they recording him? I didn't see a camera. Were the guys who were there? He was just talking. I mean, really? Wasn't he? Like,
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I guess. But he was like, one man took me under his wing and cared for me when nobody else would. And that man is Sean Spears. Was that okay, Sean? That was perfect, Brooks. Thank you. I don't know what that is. That, you know. So
it feels like, and I don't know anything, so don't be weird.
Right.
It feels like whatever they were planning for Ridge Holland and Sean Spears, they're like, nope, but we're gonna do that with Brooks Jensen now. Because remember, Sean Spears was like lining up to manage Ridge. It felt like.
Right.
When you have Brooks Jensen, you have Josh Briggs, It feels like that relationship, the history is too rich that I can't buy that Shawn Spears took you under his wing when it's been like a couple weeks. And I don't feel like loose cannons should have friends. I think they're too loose of cannons to be making friends.
Right.
So that's just my thoughts on it.
Yeah.
Just a heads up, super chats are in the order of the segments that we talk about.
Yeah, we if I'm no longer talking about that segment, I'll catch it on the way back after the main event. That's the way we do it here.
We do loop around. If you want to send in something else, Terrence,
yeah,
because I don't want you to have wasted $5 on that.
No, but
Feel
thank
free
you. So Ridge over effusively thanked Chase U so much, wearing his brand new now they're wearing basketball jerseys because basketball season is several months ago. They and also Duke Hudson, like, I never say this, but I was wrong about you. I know now that I should have believed in you from the start. And Milesy Rouseborn is like, yeah, I mean, Thea's always been on your side, and honestly, I should have taken her word for it. You're a great guy, Ridge. Ridge, just the best dude in the world who will never, ever turn on us. And they were laying it on so thick that I thought for sure Ridge Holland was going to turn on Chase U, because when they lay it on that thick, they're obviously trying to, like, lull you into a false sense of security. You know what I mean? Kind of a thing. So I hate Chase U, Kate. I've hated him since the very beginning. I don't care who you add to the act. It's always going to be a terrible act. It doesn't make any sense. I can't stand it. It's my least favorite thing in all of wrestling. It is beyond Darby Allin, beyond Chris Jericho, beyond this ridiculous corporate version of Cody Rhodes, beyond the bracelet that CM Punk was the most important thing in the world to him, and now he says it was never about the bracelet.
Show your wrists right now. Thank you.
I have hated everything about Chase U since the beginning. The ridiculous gambling scandal that was solved by a sexy co-ed's calendar featuring women in it who did not attend Chase U. I hate Chase U. I hate Chase U. I hate Chase U. They're the champs. Go ahead. You talk.
Well, here's the thing that's frustrating is Duke Hudson is the best. I love him so much. And Thea Hale's really good when they let her be Thea Hale. So my frustration and my litmus test with stables, whether I like them from my taste perspective or not, my objective wrestling thing is the sum greater than the whole of the parts, or is vice versa true? And I feel like Chase U as a unit has done more to hold back wrestlers than it has to propel them forward. Because Duke Hudson, like, he had that great match against Oba Femi, but until we manifested that, you and I, like, he was not in a title contention. No, Thea Hale has never seriously felt like she's had a shot to win something.
Right.
And then their last tag title reign was 9 days, I think. So it always felt like it was going to be a means to an end.
Yeah.
So this one, which feels like it's set up for one of two things, either a Ridge Holland heel turn after they hold the titles and they're going to get freebirded, or Duke Hudson and Milesy Rilesborn, I think we call him. Mm-hmm. If Duke and him turn heel and that's how all of Chase U falls apart, that is of more interest to me than this. But I do truly, in my heart of hearts, with all my might, believe that Duke Hudson is meant to be a singles star in professional wrestling, because he's fantastic. So this being the step to get there is puzzling. The Blurry Boys dropping here,
like, after all of those defenses against, like after last week, they had an all fucking timer with MSK and won. And this week, they face the joke faction of all joke factions in Chase U and lose. And somebody...
The week after a 2-part special. Like,
yeah.
Man, it's rough. It's a rough one because it's unfair to them. But it does feel like maybe it's moving in a direction that will break up Chase U, which would be your ideal thing. And to me, a healthier decision for some of the people that are in it. But I don't know. Like, this was... Like, I'm glad that the thing didn't happen that was so obvious. But now what's next is worrisome to me. And I don't feel like it's very fair that Nathan Frazer and Axiom lost the week after a 2-part special just on TV.
And they finally were on the same page, and then they lost.
Yes, that's the other piece of this.
I mean,
is that the logic is in reverse.
Yeah.
And the same day that Tony D loses his Heritage Cup, like, how many ways do you have to break our hearts?
Like, this is my least favorite episode of NXT ever, simply because of the things that happened. A, Tony D lost. B, Lexus King won. C, Chase U won. D, Oba had to sell for Otis. Like, honestly. So, Matt Logan says, finally, all those Chase U fans in the audience got to get in the ring, and they had all that confetti all queued up for him. Wasn't that handy that they had all that confetti all queued up for them?
Well, they should have that for every title possibility.
Somehow, some way, this is Ridge's first title in WWE and his second ever title reign in his career per cage match, says Luis. And Luis also has a prediction. Here's what's going to happen. Ridge, Duke, Riley, and Thea will graduate Chase U next week. Not announced, but what I am expecting, says Luis.
Quite possible.
Cyclo asked if we would sign a petition, I believe, to bulldoze Chase U beyond repair. Yes, that's what should have happened when he...
a year and a half ago done that.
Yeah, from the very beginning. The first time I saw him teach a class in a room that had 3 walls were curtains. I would have bulldozed it. The first time when
you really
Thea
would have needed a bulldozer for walls that are curtains.
No, it's true. That's true. The first time when Thea Hale moved into the dorms with Bodie Hayward, they had to share a room, and the dorm she moved into had one of those little electronic card readers, so it was obviously a motel somewhere on the outskirts of Orlando. That was their dorm. Like, nothing about Chase U has ever made sense.
No, they got close with the scandal, and then they blew it.
No, they didn't. That never made sense. Why was he borrowing money from the mob?
Well, I thought it was going to be because he got into such debt.
But I mean, but
then they were just like, nope, calendar.
And then he was like, then he tried to get some money from Scripps, not our Scripps, but the actual Scripps from when Scripps was still there, out the mud. And he was like, if you roll the dice in our back alley craps game, you can tell it's in a quote unquote bad neighborhood because there's all this graffiti on the walls. Where you roll the dice, then you're going to get the money, but you only get the money if you get us a title shot versus Tony D and Stacks. And oh man, God, all of this is just bringing up terrible memories.
Your new tag team champions. But Alex,
yeah,
if you want to be nowhere to be found,
yeah,
I know Just how to do it. We don't get this sponsor every episode. Yep. This is a special one. It's for my 3-year anniversary. Yeah, and you're gonna want to subscribe for 3 years or more to NordVPN for these savings.
At least, yes.
They save you so much money.
Correct.
Sean's here to tell you all about it.
Buying pay-per-views on NordVPN.com/Fightful is going to enhance your pay-per-view buying process. Now, one subscription to NordVPN has so many different benefits, but if you're a big pay-per-view buyer like myself, UFC, boxing, pro wrestling, all that good stuff. Any combination of the three, if they're doing a fight circus or something like that, this subscription will pay for itself after 1 or 2 pay-per-view buys. Change your virtual location, pay for it at the prices that other people are paying for it in the UK, in Australia, etc., etc. And you can get different interfaces. Maybe you don't like Peacock and you want to check out the WWE Network the way that it used to be, the way that it was designed to be, the easy navigation, so on and so forth. Maybe you want to watch AEW without commercials. Maybe there's some other overseas services that you can't subscribe to and you want access to them. NordVPN.com/Fightful gives you that with a great deal and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Even better, 24/7 tech support, so if you have trouble navigating any of it, they can help you out. Fastest VPN on the planet, NordVPN.com/Fightful.
They are sincerely... When you sign up with the code Fightful, they give you a crazy deal, for real. Like, of all the sponsors we have, they give you a ton of money off. So if you need a VPN, if you're not familiar with VPNs, they have actual, like, legit incredible support. So you will be able to navigate your needs with them, but, like, you save a ton with the code Fightful. So we don't do a lot of affiliate links anymore. It's not the best partnerships for us in the world, but that one, holy cow, saves you guys a bunch of money. So invest in Nord. They invest so much in us that even if you aren't looking for a VPN, let them know you found out about them through us, because they're really nice. So there.
There you go. There you go. So there. Terrence Johnson says, the more that I think about it, the Wes Lee heel turn actually makes sense. The way he laid it out was really well done. Here's my thing. I think that you could have easily had him in the moment last week show frustration when they were trying to do a group hug of just pushing them away and storming out. Now that wouldn't have been a match, like a show ending angle last week, and I get that, but
then you could have had the title match go on last.
Right. But then which you probably should have done. Anyway, then this week he could explain why he was being so angry at Trey and Zach, and their words to him could set him off and make him like attack him, like them being like blaming him for stuff or whatever. Then that, at least in that moment, it would make sense. It made no sense at the moment, kicking him in the balls, because you left me 2.5 years ago. Just it didn't you can be frustrated in the moment because you lost a match and not attempt super kick your friend and kick your other friend in the balls. Just, whatever.
This week was much better. My thing was, and I don't know how TNA fans feel about this, but it just feels like it was the breakup of a TNA stable. It feels like it should have happened there, but I don't know.
It does.
I don't know.
Meet Normus says, is WWE allowed to start a show with a match, or is a minimum 10-minute promo to start shows in the bylaws? It basically at least, yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen the bylaws, but I'll ask Corey.
Bad Apple Jam Treebeard says, honestly, if they want to make the CW debut NXT a big show, make the main event a champ versus champ. Either NXT champ versus TNA champ, or NXT versus North American champ, and either matches has both titles on the line. I mean, that's certainly a thing they could do. That would be very interesting. I do know that if you want to get tickets to see that show live, then the promo code is NXT HBK, because the man's ego is the size of Jupiter.
Is it really? NXT HBK?
The promo code to get tickets for the pre-sale of the first show on CW is NXT HBK. Your Pepsi Phil is probably going to be the main event, says Luis. It's probably going to be just Pepsi Phil coming out and talking.
In Chicago? No way.
Or the opener. He'll be the opener. That's what they'll do. They'll do that. Get everybody happy about that. Anniversary puns. Ian R says Tradition Team 2000.
Oh, thank you.
Ian R says Keith Jubilee. Chris Pereira says it's my private party and I can cry if I want to. ENR says Nation of Jubilation. Lupangi Vice says Go Shody G, it's your birthday.
Pongy Vice. Such a good
Go
handle.
Shody G, it's your birthday. Go Shody G, it's your birthday.
Anniversary, but
Right, but it's about celebrations. Kate, anniversary puns. These are mostly not about anniversaries. It's the lowest amount of puns It's the lowest amount of puns we've had in months.
Well, that's because also people sent in very nice things.
They did. They
about
did.
my anniversary.
They did. So, like, I'm not gonna quibble with these people over their wonderful puns about things that are not anniversaries, as long as we're getting the money.
No, it's always very appreciated. And
Ian
I think
R
I
says-
said celebrations at the beginning of the show because anniversary is a narrow scope.
Ian R says El Soiree Night.
Very nice.
Insert clever Tegan Knox pun says Tegan Clocks, which is the modern gift for the first anniversary.
Of course. Thank you so much.
Ian R says Bam Bam Banquet. Ian R says Robert Milestone. Ian R says Hootenanny J. Ian R says Bustaiku Ceremony. Alpha Bill says anniversary themed bracelet. Check, please.
Blocked, timeouted, banned, sent to the moon.
Says
Get outta here.
Yata El Cerro Miedo. And Anniversary Ripley. Not
Very
gonna get
well
better than
done.
that one. Electric Mayhem says commemoration dare.
The commander.
Commemoration celebration. I don't know. Juba Keithley and Anualelico and Helico and Ualelico. Ian R says Mariachi G Dolan. Mariachi G Dolan. Ian R says Dia de los Muertos Oba Femi. Greg Cherry says Silicate good times, come on. Mercedes Sarah Monet. Then, now, forever to leather. Leather is the traditional 3-year anniversary gift.
Irony for a vegan.
Hullabaloo Thez. And Bash Saber Jr.
Very nice. BSJ,
And
as it were.
And ENR says Dalton Bouncy Castle.
My God, could you imagine getting to be at a bouncy castle with Dalton Castle? That would be so much fun.
Oh my God, it was so great.
I miss him so much.
So, okay. We're actually going to get out of here on time. Isn't that great?
Yes.
Meet Normus says Tony D sings Anniversary by Tony. Every time it's your anniversary, we get this particular thing requested. And here we go.
Thank you.
Tomorrow will come, and girl, I can't wait. It's anniversary. The first thing I'll do is run straight to you. It's our anniversary. It's our anniversary. It's our anniversary. It's our anniversary made for you and me. And I've only made plans to hold your little hand. It's our anniversary. The place is all mine because we have seen good times. It's our anniversary. Victoria will be no secret at the end of the day if you get my drift. It's our anniversary.
Yeah?
A small cup of tea, then you can have me. It's our anniversary. Gabagool. So, Tom LaValle wants Braun Strowman to do Sonnet 66 by Shakespeare.
I love these. You don't, because
Tired with all these, for restful death I cry, as to behold desert a beggar born, and needy nothing trimmed in jollity, and purest face unhappily forsworn, and gilded honor shamefully misplaced, and maiden virtue rudely strumpeted, and right perfection wrongfully disgraced, and strength by limping sway disabled, and art made tongue-tied by authority, and folly doctor-like controlling skill, and simple truth miscalled simplicity, and captive good attending captain ill. Tired with all these, from these would I be gone, save that to die I leave my love alone.
Finally, how Shakespeare was meant to be read.
Get these anniversaries.
Thank you, Braun.
Meet Norma says, here's a small sack of monies for Kate's anniversary, Delinder, and Alex's heartburn meds. Meat forever, sometimes veggies. Jesse Ozog says, to celebrate any anniversary, I can only think of John Donne's 1611 poem, The Anniversary, as Strowman, of course. It's a little long, so do with it as you will. Oh my God, clicking on this thing. Let's see how long it is. It is indeed very, very long. Okay.
So what happens when we say we're going to get out of here on time?
Yeah. All kings and their favorites, all glory of honors, beauty's wits. The sun itself, which makes times as they pass, is elder by a year now than it was when thou and I first one another saw. All other things to their destruction draw. Only our love hath no decay. This no tomorrow hath, nor yesterday. Running, it never runs from us away, but truly keeps his first, last, everlasting day. Get these anniversaries. There are more stanzas which I shall not read because it is very long, and Braun Strowman makes my throat hurt.
Yeah, that's rough. That's what Ned from South Park did to me.
Mm-hmm. Here we go. Sheila Mayhem says, happy third anniversary, Kate. One of the best in the biz. Alex, you are tolerated. Kidding. SGS for life. In honor of the event, let's hear Ghosty Rhodes singing Leather Rebel by Judas Priest. The modern third anniversary gift is leather. I wonder if...
ate it all.
I wonder if Ghosty Rhodes is around.
I mean,
it's me. I'm here. Hold on. I was just hanging out waiting. It's honestly, this is the most fun I have on my Tuesdays. It's coming in here and reading crazy things you guys asked me to. But here we go. Hero of the night, blood and thunder rushing through me to the dawn of light. The sky is turning red, baby, like a renegade. All alone, I walk through fire till I crash and blaze. I'm living on the edge. Start a chain reaction, seals the neon light. Stealing all the action, always takes the fight. Leather rebel, lightning in the dark, baby. Leather rebel with a burning heart, baby daddy, if you will. Leather rebel, that's right. Thank you.
It was beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Happy you're here. I thought it was the ghost of, or the dust of Ghosty Rhodes. I thought it was your arch nemesis.
That's a different picture. Not me at all. Hold on. Yeah. Can Ghosty congratulate Kate on her anniversary? Congratulations on your anniversary, Kate.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Dusty. I mean, to make the trip from the great beyond just for me is so sweet.
Every week I come here just basically to pop you and you alone.
It warms my heart that you would say such a thing. Thank you so much.
So that is what we are here for. To say happy anniversary. It's our anniversary. In the words of the Tonys, it is our anniversary. Thank you.
There it is.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
All right. But I'm being called back to the great beyond now. Okay. So enjoy your anniversary.
Thank you, Dusty.
What happened?
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
Okay, cool.
Small glitch.
Oh, Tom LaValle wants Ricky Rainbow to sing "Party Hard" by Andrew WK. Hello.
Ricky!
Have you ever partied hard?
Back in college.
With Andrew WK?
Definitely not with him, no.
No, he's a hard partier.
That's what
you know who's even hardier, Matt.
I don't know why that took me out so much. Matt and Jeff, hardier.
When it's time to party, we will party hard. Hey, you work all night, and when you work, you just feel all right. And when things stop feeling all right, and everything is all right, because we will never listen to your rules. No, we will never do as others do. No, know what we want and we get it from you. Do what we like and we like what we do. Let's get a party going. Let's get a party going. Now it's time to party and we'll party hard. Party hard. Let's get a party going. Let's get a party going. When it's time to party, we will always party hard. Party hard, 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 party hard.
It's tough to say that many times in a row.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ricky Rainbow. Get everybody stopping by for my anniversary. I feel so loved.
That's right. Everyone is here for you on your anniversary.
But not everybody is an enigma like you are, so it means
No.
the most that you showed up.
You are welcome.
Thank you.
And thank you. Keep cool, gabagoos. Here's to another 3 years.